And we're going to go back to Jerry Barnaby, who's at the Frederik Meijer Gardens. I can't wait till that opens.
It's supposed to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, get off the news set and get to a TV because we're going to show you all about it right now, and it is a fantastic place. Let's take a look at it from the outside right now. This is what most folks have been seeing over recent months, this wonderful glass structure springing up out of the ground. If you want to find it just for a look-see from the outside, it's easy enough to find. All you do is get off of 96 at the Beltline, head east, and at the first light, which is Bradford, you take a right, and there you have it, right down the road. It is a fantastic place. And look at that waterfall right there. So many wonderful things to see inside, and joining me now is the man who's helped put this together in a big, big way. It's Mark Jeter. You are the executive director of this wonderful place. So
right.
How big a place is this?
It's 5 stories, about 15,000 square foot of floor space.
Boy, and it took you how long to build this?
To build, a couple of years. It was many more years than that in the planning, though. This goes back way back.
Okay, so to explain to folks what it is, it's a conservatory and also a botanical garden of sorts?
Right. The whole 70-acre site's a botanic garden. And then you're, of course, down to in the key, kind of the gem and the crown right here in the conservatory itself.
And it'll open up in April. Are you on schedule?
April 20 opening. We are on schedule.
And what can folks expect in the way of what they can get out of it? Certainly you can come and visit it.
You bet. You can visit it many times and always see something new. You can come in here for a refresher from the cold and from the winter. You can come in for classes, enjoy the cafe, see the sculptures. There's no end of it.
What about the price of admission? Have you established that?
You bet. Yeah, standard adult admission will be $350, and then there are other categories. And of course, memberships are a great deal. We have a great membership campaign in place right now. That's your best bet.
Well, you know, as you look around, there are thousands of plants that aren't exactly from around these here parts, are they?
Not quite. We're standing right between the part of the Asiatic and this collection in South America. We've got things from Africa, South America, Asia, Madagascar, all over.
Boy, talk about a tremendous effort putting it together. A lot of it has been done by volunteers.
That's right.
How many of them?
Oh, gosh, I couldn't even begin to tell you. There's the core, most of the, of course, all the board of directors of the Hort Society who built this thing are all volunteers. We've got a quarter of about 200 volunteers right now. Many more people have donated time, money, businesses in the area donated their services. It just goes on and on.
And I'll tell you what, right now I feel a little bit overdressed because I'm wearing long pants and a long sleeve shirt. How warm is it in here?
75 right now. Very cozy.
Well, so for the people who've been working on this place, it's just been fun in the sun.
It is.
How many plants do you have total?
Oh, total right now about 2,000 on site, not all of them in place yet. We're just getting started into the planning here.
Well, isn't this great? I'll tell you what, folks, they've got another thing just over across the conservatory that has a little story behind it, the big rock formation, a secret to tell about that when Live at 5 returns. All righty, look at that right there. So many panes of glass. How many, you ask? Well, 3,000 of them, and that is just the beginning of how massive this place is, the Frederik Meijer Gardens. And not everything is up in the sky. Look at those rocks on the ground. You never see rocks like that in Michigan, do you? Hey, George, I'm up here, sitting on top of a cliff that certainly looks realistic, doesn't it? And feels that way, too. But, folks, as we're going to find out right now, this is not real rock. We all take rocks for granted. They offer a nice place to sit or act as a sturdy pathway for water to trickle down. But other than that, about all most of us know about rocks is that they are really old. But here's another thing to think about. Each and every one of the rocks you've seen so far are fake. Yep, believe it or not, building rocks is a growing business. And the Frederik Meijer Botanical Garden has hired the top artificial rock maker in the world to create its stones. Why fake rock?
Real rock, it'll look more stacked, more like a bunch of stacked boulders. This, we can give you an actual rock wall, ranging from a couple feet to however high you want it.
This is the way Philippe de Giacomo, the rock designer, figured the landscape of the Botanical Garden should look. And after many months of work, this is how the project is coming along. Very realistic, wouldn't you say? And there's a reason for that, because every rock you see is patterned after one that was found in nature.
The molds were taken off of actual rock formations out in Southern California.
And then duplicates are made out of glass fiber reinforced concrete.
And you see some of the little fibers here. And it's shot into a mold under pressure with sand, cement, and these chopped fibers. And the fibers have to hold it all together.
And then that's the front.
And that's the front part. Yeah.
Wow. And this is heavy. I mean, this little piece right here probably weighs 20, 25 pounds.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Man. It's as heavy as real rock. Great pains are taken by the rock artists to add all the detail that will surely make you think that these rocks are real.
We want to accentuate the bigger pieces, the older pieces, and the pieces that look like they fell out. We do that with color to communicate that.
Yeah, communicating with the rocks. That group of guys is from California. That's why they're so in touch with nature right there. But here's a guy who's also very much in touch with nature. Steve Rosselette, you are the garden designer for the conservatory here, and we're standing, I guess, in your favorite section. What is this right here?
One of my favorite sections. This area is Madagascar and the Mascarene Islands off the coast of Madagascar. And it includes bottle palms, very rare, particularly in the wild, almost extinct in the wild, and blue rattan palms, and traveler's trees that look like giant bananas, but aren't.
So you pulled these plants from all over the world,
Yes.
did you?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the thought process? What are you trying to achieve here in the conservatory?
Well, I tried to group them in geographic regions. It's not totally strict because of the space allotted, but as close as possible.
Talk about a logistical nightmare. Obviously, you didn't get all these plants from points across the globe. You had to go to Florida, did you, for them?
Yeah, most of them came from South Florida, grown in nurseries there, and also in Southern California.
How'd you get them up here?
Huge semi-trucks, heated.
How many plants sum total?
When it's all finished, probably about 300 to 500 species.
Boy, oh boy. Your work's cut out for you.
Thank you.
Talk about a man with a green thumb. Is it green? Yes, it is. Okay, folks, when we come back, we're talking about some other things happening here at the Frederik Meijer Gardens. Sculptures. Not only plants here, but also wonderful, whimsical sculptures. We'll talk about that when Live at 5 returns. Hey, welcome back, folks. You know, we mentioned that there are plants from all over the world here at the Frederik Meijer Gardens, and you got to wonder what kind of soil would support them all. Well, as it turns out, they use something called a soilless mixture. This is haydite, sand, and peat. There's absolutely no dirt in it. A marvel of science. Okay, now let's talk about the sculptures that will be appearing in and around the gardens. And photojournalist Dan Salas went down Kalamazoo Way in search of one man who is putting a big, big sculpture together. So let's find out how these works of art are born.
We all know art is not about copying something, but rather expressing something. I'll do a lot of extra things and then change. The work will change until it's finished. All of the kids came from, they were children of employees of Meijer. And they came in and helped, and I made a whole series of photographs. For a couple of weeks, we photographed kids, and arrived at the ones that would be a sort of composite grouping, and have gone from there. So it's quite an undertaking, and it's been a lot of fun, and there's a lot to do yet. The sculptor works with form, and where he can create a rhythm and a pattern by bringing forms together and including a subject matter, that is traditionally what sculpture is about. You see the variety of tools that might be used because they'll cut different shapes because of the shape on the end of them. If I wanted to make this tighter, I'd come in with a sharper tool. If I say it's finished, then we'll go into the foundry and they'll make a rubber mold of it. Once they've made a rubber mold, they'll then make a wax pattern out of the rubber mold. Once they have the wax pattern and I've looked at it and okayed it, they'll then go ahead and make a bronze out of it. All of the work that's cast in bronze is being done by the Alchemist Thai Foundry here in Kalamazoo. And he'll be up on a 4-foot high pedestal, so his feet are going to be about in here.